Hi everyone, welcome to Mala's First. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Today's reading is going to be about your healing capacities, and the way I have structured the reading is that we are going to look at your core values first and how they play out as healing capacities for you, for those around you. And I trust that you would enjoy this reading. So we have three piles to choose from. The first one is Vesica Pisces with number 26. The second pile is Soul Writing with the number 20. And the third one is Divine Feminine with the number 31. So take a couple of deep breaths with me here, breathing out through your mouth. Really relaxing into your body. And letting your awareness guide you to whichever pile you are drawn to. You are more than welcome to choose one or more piles, and I'll see you in your reading. Hi, pile number one. If you chose the Vesica Pisces, this is your reading. The cards that we have for you are Ten of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and the Sun card, which represent your core values. And the first thing that comes to my mind, especially with the Mountain Lion and the Sun card, is that you are a fierce protector. That's one of your major core values. You protect by putting your life at risk. Those around you, or the people around you whom you have a lot of love for, whom you care for extremely well. It's like a deep rooted energy, like a core. Like I said, we are talking about your core values. So this is, you might have had Aries in your, you you might have had past lifetimes where you were a warrior or a guardian for sure, and guarding people, of course, guarding your family, but you must have been guarding royalty. With the Ten of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles, I do receive that the and picture shown here, it's that you are somebody who has so much wisdom, because even though it's the page, we have a red octopus. An octopus, I always resonate or relate the energy of an octopus with a lot of wisdom. And the color red is also a lot about security, power, and I do believe it is also associated with one's soul energy, like the lifeline of a soul or the soul thread, essentially. So with that and the Ten of Pentacles, I do perceive that the people you care for on and the people you have love for, you are so deeply grateful for them and caring for them. And with the Mountain Lion, and if you look at its expression, it's black. It's a straight face. So people might think you are not very expressive, or you seem intimidating for sure because you have a tough exterior. But what they don't realize with the Ten of Pentacles, and we have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, and we have a heart in the Vesica Pisces at in the middle. Your love is so, it's so pure. I mean, I'm not even getting the word divine, but more so pure. It's coming from a space of so much purity. There is no, there's no transaction here. You don't believe in give and take when it comes to people who have come under your, under your wing or within your inner circle. You don't have any, give and take or a measurement of how you love them or how much have they done for you. It's, I was getting the word unbridled, so I looked up the meaning just for a second. So there is that is energy, like unbridled, without restraint. That's the kind of love you have. You don't have any ifs or buts, or there's, it's not a contract in sense of if you do this then I'll show you my loyalty. No, you are deeply loyal to those around you. And I was getting a lot of Saturn energy as well. Does make sense with 26, and as it adds up to number 8, which is the number of Saturn. And that's what you might look like: an authority figure, someone who doesn't listen to others or may not be open to listening to others, which is far from the truth, because it's just that your demeanor, your exterior might look intimidating, but you are not that way. You are very much operating from love. And with the pink here, it's that I mean, like the pink flowers, what I'm receiving is that, first of all, you are a community person, you are a people person, which people might not get from the outside. And I am it's interesting that we are receiving this outside inside view, because it does make sense with the Vesica Pisces. If we have, if not if, but we have these bigger circles, and we have these smaller circles, which is your core value. And people are just looking at this empty huge circle from the outside, so they are just looking, just they're barely touching the surface about who you are, whereas your core is so much driven by the heart, by love, by really rooting love, or rooted love, I would say, and rooting love in those around you. With the pink flowers, what I was receiving is that you do appreciate and honor the wisdom, the knowledge of those around you, which was just the Ten of Pentacles energy here with this card. And with the pink color, I do perceive that you really look at everyone from a lens of love, which is, like I said, again, not very evident to others, because your demeanor is so intimidating. Let's just put it that way. Another core value of yours is you will not give up, come what may. There's a rebirth energy, and always wanting to explore what's next and not giving up just because of some hurdle. And by this, when I use the terminology, or not the terminology, but the phrase just because of, I might be playing it lightly, but you have seen through really dark things or very intimidating circumstances, but you have shown up even after that. And the thing that's guiding you is definitely your intuition. Even though you are very rooted in the material, wherever, whatever choices you make, especially when it comes to choices about people you let into your circle and giving them your loyalty, because your loyalty is one of your strongest values. You don't look at what the other person has or doesn't have. If you know their core energy is kind, is loving, is soft, is contributing to those around you, you will take them in most likely, and you will protect them as your own. You will protect them as they are a treasure, and that's why they people around you might feel very treasured and like a gift, because of this strong loyalty that you show. And yeah, as I was saying, you will not give up. And you might be someone who is extremely multi-talented and in very contrasting things, and even if it's not contrasting but really different things. For example, someone who has taken a, hmm, let's just say, a very left brain subject, so engineering, something that has logic, or has a lot of logic rather, and is only based on if this equals to this, and then that is what this means, kind of an energy. You might have interest in those subjects. Simultaneously, you might be interested a lot in esoteric, occult, creative stuff, things that are not tangible, that cannot be explained through logic and can only be experienced. And that does make sense with how much you tap into your intuition to understand what kind of people to interact with. So, even though we were going to look at this card as to how your core values show up as healing capacities, we have already sort of gone through it. But what I would like to add is, with the Vesica Pisces, people don't recognize how much love you have, and it permeates to the universe, especially when you show loyalty, or it's not loyalty, especially when you take people in and you consider them as your own, when you take care of them as your own, that in itself is very healing for them. I do perceive that you are someone who really, you can understand, or you can pinpoint a lot of underdogs, maybe underdogs, because you might have the same energy, or you must have had the same energy growing up. And so you realize the value of someone actually honoring you for who you are and valuing you for who you are, and encouraging you to multiply your strengths, because that's the kind of energy you have, that's the kind of leader you are. And so the healing capacity that you have for others with your core values is providing them a safe haven to recognize their worth, their value, and feel safe. Safety essentially is a major energy that's coming in. You provide a safe haven to those around you. Now we are going to look at how this healing capacity plays out at a personal level and an interpersonal level, and also in the collective. Like I said, you do provide safety and opportunity. We do have Eight of Pentacles, but I'm not taking it, although this does signify mastery. So, like I said, you are quite intelligent with the octopus wisdom, a lot of mastery and pentacle here, and we have a pentacle here. Of course, that was the Page of Pentacles. Um, so, we give me a moment as I organize these. It's going to take me a bit. At a personal level, with the Page of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, I do perceive that you're clearly someone who offers, and you offer, even though your offers may seem very well thought, very logical, but it does or it definitely comes from the heart center. And like I said, you vouch for the underdog, you care for them. So you must be someone who either is already doing it in some way, shape, or form, which is funding to charities or funding for underprivileged kids, is what I'm receiving. This could be funding through money, or you are taking care of their basic needs. You must be giving to charity. You might be making food for those who don't have access to it on a daily basis. You, some of you might have even taken children under for foster care, is also what I am receiving. And you could also be teaching art or doing therapy through art, is what I'm receiving. This is at a personal level. And when it comes to interpersonal, I mean, how does it get any better than this? Because we have 10 of cups, which is the emotional fulfillment card, and we have the Six of Swords. So like I said, you definitely care for family, you definitely care deeply for people who are close to you. You will do whatever it takes to help them feel better. With the Six of Swords here, you do whatever you can within your capacity, and sometimes even surpass that, so that the people you care for reach a safer, kinder, much more calmer place. And I perceive like within the 10 of cups card, I don't feel like this is you are anywhere in the card. What I am receiving is someone who is looking at their family, from a distance, basically like a guardian spirit or a guardian angel, and looking at them in such a manner that you are so happy that they're happy, and when they are not, you're more than willing to guide them to a better place. And this could be a lot through, talk therapy, or essentially moving them through different concepts where they feel relieved in their mindset and they are not stuck in differing opinions. Rather, they eventually start finding calmness and peace when they talk with you and they move around with you, or even maybe when you take them or travel with them to different places, to places that have a lot of water. They start feeling more at ease and more grounded. And on a collective level, it's interesting. We have the sun and we have Queen of Wands here, and I remember when I was pulling out cards for you, I did receive the Queen of Wands, or I did receive the Three of Wands here when it came to your core value. So you are someone who will wait patiently. We do have the Devil card behind the Ten of, sorry, not the 10, but the Three of Wands, which does give me this, which I was talking about, the energy that you are very good at the material realm and actualizing things in the material realm. But anyway, with the Queen of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, people learn a lot from you for sure, and they're very surprised by how you manifest things, how you actualize things. This is very inspiring for them, and it makes them realize that, especially creativity is coming through. So some of you might be artists, like I did mention here. Some of you are doing art therapy for children or teaching them through art in some way, shape, or form. So that could be something that inspires people. They must be stunned with the fact that, oh, okay, someone who's so serious is also has some creative, fun side to them. That's exciting. But how it's healing for others is to realize that they don't have to stick to a certain way of being, or just stick to one pathway. They can have a they can have multitude of things helping them out, fueling their energy, fueling their source, fueling their life force, sorry. And with the Queen of Wands, they know not to mess with you. But on a collective level, they do understand how strong your energy is, especially in protecting yourself. And they also recognize, even though you might have a strong, fierce demeanor, you're someone who's extremely kind with animals, with beings that may not have a voice of their own, with the underprivileged. That's the energy I'm time and again getting. So yeah, just because somebody has a lot of wealth or they're fierce in their energy doesn't mean they would not care for other beings. And that's a healing capacity on a collective level. You inspire others, you're inspiring in ways that it breaks down this, for I wouldn't say false, but a common image about people who are either wealthy or fears that they wouldn't care for beings who essentially could be called weak in some way, shape, or form. But and I'm not putting labels here, so please do get that. But that's what they recognize, that that facade gets broken off because of the way you live, because you care for and treat everyone with equal respect. Wow. Now I'm just going to pull one last card. One last card from the Work Your Light Oracle as an encouraging message from your higher self. We do. Wow. I'm not going to take that, but just read what it says. Birthing a new age. You are about rebirth a lot. One card, please. We have Pleiades. So yeah, some of you might recognize yourself or do relate to star seeds, and Pleiades could be a star family you resonate with. We have sisterhood or the rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. Like I said, with sisterhood, that's what I was getting. Like, you are somebody who will look out for, and who always looks out for those that they care for. And with Pleiades, we have double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. That does make sense very much with the Queen of Wands. So, like I said, you might have, like I was mentioning, like opposing interests. So, you must be interested in mystic stuff. We do have mystic here. And that's another thing that could be inspiring the collective with the Queen of Wands. So even if you are someone who's very material based, very logic based, you are also someone who is very much into spirit and spirituality, learning about your own spirit, your own soul, and that is inspiring for people. Your higher self is definitely coming through from a star family. I mean, is getting associated with that energy or is resembling that energy. So with channeling and uplifting humanity, I just perceive that they're encouraging messages to keep doing what you are doing, because you're definitely uplifting those around you. You're caring for those around you by sharing your voice, by sharing your wisdom, which is happening in the collective, and also I feel like in the personal level. So in all of these levels it's definitely happening, and they're just reiterating that message that you are doing quite well, and your star light or your light is so much important. It is so valued and it is valuable. So don't forget that ever. And with the sisterhood of the rose, is just reiterating the fact again, or your high self is just letting us know again that you are inspiring those around you, even if people might be a little bit intimidated with this mountain lion energy within the sun, but they're definitely very inspired by you, and they definitely have a lot of love for you too. So pile number one, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, pile number two. If you chose soul writing with the number 20, this is your reading. We have Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and the Five of Wands for you, with the Ace of Swords in at the bottom of the deck. So your core values. So yeah, to reiterate what I said in the intro, in case you missed it, we are going to look at your core values first and how they are, or how the amalgamation of it or a culmination energy of it is healing for others. And that card is represented by soul writing. And so, with writing, what I'm receiving is many of you definitely are interested in writing, are writers, are authors, or you are very much involved, or you involve journaling and scripting in your day-to-day life to shift your reality. That's for sure, that's something that I'm getting. Writing is definitely a strong aspect here for some of you, because we do have Ace of Swords and Six of Swords, and Swords does represent the mental plane for me, and also writing intellectual stuff, or basically putting to paper what comes to your mind. That's the kind of energy I'm receiving. With Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and Five of Wands, it's like your core values are a lot around patience, building, taking your time, recognizing what is growth oriented, what is not growth oriented. With Five of Wands, it's the way that it's being represented here. It's the conflict. I mean, we don't have five energies, we just have five wands here. Like in the usual Rider Waite system, we have five people sort of like fighting or play fight, it could be that as well, but having a competition. But with the Five of Wands, the way it's being represented here with the beaver, it's like the beaver is doing whatever is possible to analyze the waves, the rash. The rash waves and the way the waves are coming. I know that was a little funny, but if I hope you get my drift. But what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, that's what, these guys, you guys have a way with words. Yep. But what I am actually saying is that the harsh waves that have been coming, or analyzing the nature of the waves, what is the nature of what's coming in front of you or next ahead, the challenges around it, the hiccups around it, you prepare yourself for it and you're not hasty about it. You let the conflict play out a little, I would say, or at least initiate in a way, so that you understand what works and what doesn't work, and you would ride that wave, and you do so with a lot of patience, and you have a lot of stamina, especially energetically and in your mental plane, a lot of stamina to withstand a lot of things. That must be why it makes up for a lot of interesting stories or experiences to share with the world, with the soul writing here. So your core value is around building, and building very intricately, very detail oriented, building with a lot of patience, building around conflicts, building with conflicts, yet you are growing. You are always growing. With the Ace of Swords, like I said, you clear up the way. You operate a lot from truth. It's not just a lot, you operate from truth. Essentially, what I'm getting, and it's interesting that I did not observe this when I did get this card for you, and there is truth written here, but it's in white itself, so it's not so visible. I wonder if it's catching that on camera, but there's truth written here below the angel. So you definitely guide people in the way that you are to follow their truth, and especially through your patience. And the patience that you have is not, just patience for things to work out. It's patience for yourself. It's patience for the journey. It's patience for life itself. It's patience for, like we mentioned in the beginning, for things to grow. But yeah, allowance is the word, like allowance for all sorts of things to play out. You are not perturbed by external circumstances. You stand still and you keep moving, and even if it's a slow pace, you keep moving. You're very calculative, and this is a healing capacity to those around you in the way you share your stories. Definitely, if you are not doing it, you are being pushed to do that. Maybe some of you do have a social media platform, a blog where you write, or you write books, or you write articles. In some way, shape, or form, you do. um, Either you're already doing it, or if not, you're definitely being pushed to do it, because the words that come through you, and especially how you narrate the story, or how you narrate even a concept, is going to be very helpful for people. It is healing essentially, because it gives them time to reflect on where they have been unkind to themselves. They have not recognized when they did not give themselves the grace for things to work for them, or for things to flourish and grow. One other thing that I was receiving right when I pulled out cards for you, especially the core energy, you are very definitive with what you would like to have and not. So your boundaries are extremely clear. That is another thing that is, a core value of yours, and also a healing capacity for others. I mean, like your healing capacity for others in a way that you inspire them to make a system, to make a structure. I would rather say a system that works for you, and that is inspiring for others to know that, oh, okay, it's okay for me to say no here, isn't it? So I mean, because I see pile number two doing it, I see pile number two calling out BS for what it is, calling a spade, and not sugarcoating it. And you would do it in the most humble, grounded way. That is what is also most inspiring. And the word that I'm getting is inspiration. You inspire people a lot. That is your healing capacity, and specifically through your words. Specifically, the word patience, the word of building and taking time to build is coming through quite strongly. And taking time to build, because it comes from what is true, clear, as I mean, like clear, pure truth, and especially your truth, and I mean, that's associated with your heart center, and that is the core of how you be in life, which in itself, like the way you be in life, is healing for people, because it is coming from ultimate truth from within you. You strive for it, you learn, like I said, you face hurdles. It's not that it's always true to you. You recognize in new different ways and new different levels what is true for you and not. So basically, in terms of like how Abraham Hicks talks about, the contrast that we experience. You are not afraid of experiencing contrast. Yes, of course, everyone gets uncomfortable, right? But you are willing to figure out how the contrast is playing out, so that it becomes clearer to you what is the pathway moving forward. And this in itself must have, amplified your instincts a lot, your intuition a lot, as to even in like day to day life or even conversations with others, you recognize what is true for you and what is not, and you might even steer away from conversations which will not create greater. And I do, like I said, you guys have a way with words. So conversation is again coming up. So some of you might, maybe you are interested in comedy or satire in some way, shape, or form, essentially. But then communication is definitely coming up. Some of you might have a podcast. Maybe you are being drawn to create a podcast of your own. Definitely go ahead and do that, because your words are very healing. Now I'm going to look at how this plays out on a personal level and interpersonal and collective level. So give me a moment as I shuffle the cards. On a personal level, yeah, I was getting some connection with pile number one for this pile, and does make sense with the Queen of Wands. So we are not taking the Seven of Cups, but we are taking the Queen of Wands and Strength. Hmm. And even in the Strength card, what I am being drawn to is, how she is with such ease handling the mouth of a lion. So that's what you do, it with a lot of grace. You look at conflicts with a lot of grace. You take your time with it, you're patient. Basically, you know how to tame the beast. All right, within. Okay, so for interpersonal, did was that the Three of Swords? Yeah, Three of Swords was appearing here. I'm not going to take this, but I definitely feel that you've learned you've learned through hardships so much. You know how to move beyond broken hearted energy, and especially when things don't meet your expectation. Oh, we do take this. Okay, interpersonal level, this one. Queen of Cups. Yeah, Queen of Cups did appear for you while I was shuffling these cards again. Oh wow. Ace of Swords again. Lot of clarity, lot of thought, mental plane clarity for this file. And one more card for the collective, please. This one. Seven of Cups again. Yes, moving through confusion, looking at how conflict plays out, so you become even more aware of what is not true for you. Definitely, pile number one must have some messages for you, or you did come from pile number one. We have 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So we have Queen of Wands, the Strength card, Queen of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and three Queens. Wow, we have 10 of Cups and the Queen of Swords. So definitely this pile is a queen. I mean, like of four queens, we have three already here for you. Very fierce energy too, because if we look at it, we have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands here, and just the Queen of Cups. So your demeanor again, like that's probably the reason why you were drawn to or are being asked to look at pile number one, because the demeanor or the exterior is quite fierce here, almost intimidating, I'd rather say. And with the Queen of Wands and Strength card at a personal level, you guys are very good at shadow work. especially taming the parts of you that are raging within. And you know, things that a regular person would call is ugly about themselves, so they would ignore it as much as they can. Nope, you look at it straight into its eyes, and you work with it, you embrace it. You might even have to fight with it, but eventually you do come to a place where you are able to work with it like a team and create more light in the world. We literally have two cards for you at a personal level. Both of them have fire energy. So some of you might have strong Leo placements or a strong influence of sun. So that, or you may be a day person as well. So do see how it fits to your situation. With the Queen of Cups and Two of Pentacles, like I said, you people inspire in interpersonal connections as well. Your healing capacity is to provide people different perspectives so that they recognize what is confusing them, where is it that they are going haywire and doing too much of something which will not work for them, and helping them recognize what kind of factors or what kind of energies work for them. And it's not that you directly communicate this, but more so the emotional comfort that you provide to others makes them realize, oh, okay, these extra things that I'm juggling with or dancing around with are not working for me. And you provide that with emotionally, especially with your calmness. I do perceive that you might, some of you here are card readers or do practice divination or something that is intuitive in nature and gives you guidance. Maybe you are just you just channel and you share your insights from meditation, but you share that with those around you, making them realize what is an extra thing, especially like extras, or cutting off extra crap from their life. You help them recognize that what is it that they're unnecessarily indulging into and losing their valuable resources over. This could be time, money, energy, whatever fits the situation. But in interpersonal connections, that's how your healing capacity helps. It's probably because how you have the patience to look at not look at things playing out, but yeah, you have the patience for things to grow, for things to play out, for them to at least show their head once, so that you recognize, oh, okay, this is what's happening with this kind of a formula, to put in simpler terms. And so that's given you so much wisdom about what is, and I'm getting the analogy of plants and planting and gardening. So, what is a fertilizer that works? What is a fertilizer that doesn't work? What's the extra crap? Cutting off leaves that are dry and dead and are not supporting, and there's only extra energy going there to keep that half dead leaf alive. So, you know how to prune the edges essentially and prune and clear the energies. That's the awareness you've got through your own journey, and you provide very uh, you got the insight that you provide are very compassionate as well, so people don't feel intimidated and they feel very relaxed in your energy. And on a collective level, you, like as I was mentioning about boundaries, right? That's what you provide healing in terms of letting people understand that it is essential to protect your peace, and it's not, excuse me, and it is not wrong to do so, because when they are protecting their peace, this could also be that you inspire people to nurture their private life online, because that might be hindering or causing unnecessary energies to have access or influence on their private lives. So you might be inspiring the collective in that sense and healing them in that sense, giving them the wisdom to recognize what to share, what not to share, to look at everything from a higher perspective and not make too much out of things, by reading in between lines which doesn't make sense. In the sense, by that I mean like unnecessarily going into details which may not pertain to their life or create anything for them, and wasting away time or withering away, wow, withering away their soul in, unnecessary ways. You make it very clear with the way you are, even with the words you speak. Some of you might be influencers, you might have a platform where you share your wisdom, you share what you have learned. And with the Queen of Swords and the collective energy, I do perceive that the collective might know about the old you, or the person that you were, where you were probably much more social, much more of a social butterfly, and you're not now. And they do recognize that, and because it's the Queen of Swords, they definitely look at you with a lot of respect, and they recognize that protecting your joy, your peace is, it's not just, it's not a fluke, or fluke is not even a right word. It's not just how do I put this into words? It's not something to be ignored, or it's not that less valuable, essentially, where you let it be, or things will just, they will look after themselves. That's not the it's not that that line is not true. Things do look after themselves when we do our part, but that's what your part is, to recognize where to protect your energy, how much to share, how much not to share, and being fierce about it, not feeling bad about it. And as we have the Ten of Wands, this does give me even more awareness about the fact that your healing capacity, in specifically when it comes to collective energy, and how you express that it's important to be true to you, and which could translate to creating a lot of boundaries, and boundaries within yourself as well, creating self discipline helps you to shed away a lot of weight that is not, wow, Nine of Wands and Ten of Wands, yeah, let shed away a lot of weight that is not yours to carry. Like I said, when in the in the interpersonal level too, you cut away the crap. So shadow work is, and it does make sense with the Ace of Swords, cutting away the crap with the sword. So yeah, that's how you are healing pile number 2. Now I'm going to pull one last card as a message of encouragement from the Work Your Light Oracle. We have Priestess. And we have the ever unfolding rose. Cracked open, it is happening for you, not to you. Like I said, you guys, I mean, your higher self is just reiterating this message that you have already mastered a level of this, and you might be leveling up, but you're definitely mastered in one major way for yourself, to understand how things have to work out. And even if it feels like things are not working out for you, they are working out for you. And to within that journey, to recognize what was a contributing factor in a positive way, and what was sort of like a devolving or life sucking factor, right? You recognize that. And with the Priestess, I mean, we have Queen of Cups and Queen of Wands. We do have Queen of Swords too. Very, like I said, you guys are probably tarot readers, you have divination practices of your own. So how are you being called to step up and lead with your higher self coming up here? And I think I did mention in the beginning of the reading, if you do not have a platform, please do create one, because your wisdom is impeccable and very valuable to be shared with the world, and it has to be shared with the world. And even if you feel like your words are fierce or a little intimidating to people, and this doesn't necessarily mean that you're bashing people, but it could be that because truth, is bitter at times. And so in those terms, if you fear that you shouldn't be sharing, do recognize that you are coming from higher levels of, or higher consciousness of love, You want people to shine bright. You want everyone to shine bright. So don't refrain from sharing your truth. And some of you might be very good energy healers as well, which you may or may not recognize, but this is a confirmation about that from your higher self. Definitely writing or sharing words are very important for this file. So there's been like multiple indication towards this from the cards that we have received. That's important for you to share your words, and do recognize that your words do come from a higher level of love, of they are coming from higher consciousness. So be kinder towards yourself also. Don't judge yourself too much. Share your words. That's what I'm receiving. And do look at pile number one. Maybe there are some messages for you. So yeah, pile number three, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. And do share your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope to see you in future readings. Bye-bye. Hi, pile number three. If you chose Divine Feminine, this is your reading. To explain you the system of this reading, we have three cards here representing your core values. And this card here represents how your core values are or is healing in nature to others. So we have Knight of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, a Page of Swords, and which it is interesting. And we have the King of Wands also. These are very opposing energies compared to, I mean, when we look at it face to face, because we have Divine Feminine, which is more earth, more water energy, and we have Knight of Swords, Page of Swords is more air energy, and Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter, as far as I remember. And Jupiter again is fiery energy, and so is the King of Wands. So you may basically, you guys are essentially very compassionate towards others. There is no denial about that. Yet, how you are healing, or your core values are a lot around really cutting the roots of what doesn't serve you, and especially of the past, of past patterns, of past ways of thinking, beliefs, a lot of about belief system. And also, you are someone who would forge your path, and you will very fiercely pursue your path about clearing off any beliefs or any ways of being, especially your mindset, like your thinking, the way you think essentially. If it is not serving you, if it's not going to create greater, you will go to the core and cut that crap off essentially. You will change that or transform that energy so dynamically, and you're not afraid of starting anew, especially in your beliefs. You're not afraid of exploring your beliefs again, because with the wheel of fortune, and it's a major arcana card, so I do perceive that you have um worked, or you keep working a lot on changing generational patterns that don't serve, that don't create greater. And you utilize your intuition way, not way too much, but you quite strongly, along with working with your spirit guides. You may even have certain animal guides, but I'm definitely getting like spirit guides. You work with them, you work through your ancestral line, some of you. And recognize what patterns are repeating, clearing them, especially patterns that keep people stuck in fear. You're like, F that, and you will cut through it. You're very ruthless about this, especially ruthless about whatever is dark. And by dark, I mean what people deem as dark, as and is equivalent to fears and doubts. So any belief system that's rotting the roots, that's making the roots melt, deteriorate, and become unhealthy, you will go to the core and you will change it, even if it means that you will have to start anew and create a new perspective. And that is your core value. You see through people's BS. I do perceive that you are very good at detecting liars and people who may have malintent, and that is something that's so intuitive in the way that people perceive it, that they might look at it as divine feminine, but what they don't recognize is there is divine wisdom and knowledge, which is more masculine energy as well, and a system sort of an energy. Like you recognize why certain patterns play out in people and how it shows up in them, especially in terms of when they are lying to themselves or lying to you or trying to be manipulative. You will recognize that very quickly, even if it takes you like a few days, because I do perceive that what I mean by few days is if someone's playing a bigger game, they're being stealthy, you may recognize it maybe a few days down the line, a few weeks, yet you do it quicker than the average person because you are very clear about cutting off crap or things that are destructive in nature, especially from the past. I'm also getting the energy of ancient wisdom with this pile. So, some of you definitely are very deep into spiritual knowledge, spiritual texts, ancient wisdom. You may be high magicians, practitioners of magic, and I do perceive that these things that you learn, you do keep it under wraps. You're not very vocal about it. It's the basically I would say that the depth of it, the learnings which are very very deep or quite out there for others, you won't share it, but it permeates through your energy. Very powerful energy for this pile, and definitely quite ruthless energy. And it's not ruthless in a rude way, but ruthless with energies that are low vibrational, essentially. It's a healing capacity in terms of, I would say, if you recognize with the energy of Kalima, you know, she is the destroyer of not darker energy, but lower vibrational energies, and she brings clarity, and it's a fierce nature that she carries, and that's the kind of healing capacity that you have. Like your core values are synonymous to that kind of an energy. So you might be intimidating to people around you, but those who know you, they respect you so much and they value the kind of protection and clarity you provide to them, especially because I do perceive that you might be someone who's very blunt, very cutthroat in their way of speaking, and you will say what is like it is, and you will tell the people that you care about if there is a person in their life or if there's a way of thinking that is deteriorating and it's not creating data for them. You will express that quite clearly. And even if it may seem fierce, people do admire you for it, and they definitely admire you for your willingness to clear what is not creating greater, especially in terms of belief system, because it that belief system is in turn creating the actions you're taking or the choices you're making. And because you clear it, you start afresh. You may be inquisitive, you may be, in a way very new to this, but you're not afraid, like new to that specific belief or what you will create after releasing or removing that belief system out of yourself or out of your life, essentially. And what will you create after that? That's going to be new, right? So you are willing to be there, be in that vulnerable position according to others, and that's an amazing quality essentially that people admire within you. And that's the core value within you which is healing to others, because you have the willingness to start afresh, and you don't see that as weakness, but instead you definitely look at it as a strength, because it gives you the capacity to clear, to build from a foundation that is generative and life giving. And so you create whatever you create from that is going to be more flourishing in nature, more nourishing in nature, rather than something that's going to build to something big probably rather quickly and fall down just as quickly. So, clearing up that kind of a crap, and specifically wherever there is an attitude about victimhood, you will clear that up. So there's this fierce tough love for this pile from this pile. So let's see how this plays out for you in your personal level, interpersonal level, and also in the collective. We have the Four of Cups and Ace of Cups. Wow. Just give me a moment, guys. So we have Four of Cups, Ace of Cups, High Priestess, the Star, Seven of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. On a personal level, with the Four of Cups and the Ace of Cups, you have the awareness, like when this apathy, boredom kind of an energy gets in, you are very quick to recognize it, and you recognize the gift as in, actually, instead of the way that this person is ignoring the cup coming from spirit, from universe, you are, because of this capacity of yours, because of this healing energy of yours, you are somebody who would recognize this cup or this gift that it is, that's coming from spirit, from the universe, from higher realms. And you take that cup, you restart, you refresh your energy. Like I said, you are okay with refreshing energy. And I'm also receiving that some of you, because of the way you have worked a lot on thoughts that don't create greater, your belief system, and you keep working on this, you are somebody who is willing to venture into new connections, into more love, regardless of whatever happened in the past. Essentially, even if you faced betrayal, even if you faced, unfair treatment from others, that doesn't stop you from being loving in whatever connections that come ahead in life. And also, it doesn't stop you from loving your own self, in the sense that you don't, now especially and moving forward, you are not the kind of person who demeans themselves or is harsh on themselves for whatever happened. You are very forgiving now, and you've learned to be forgiving towards yourself with these healing capacities. When it comes to interpersonal connections, your connections with others, we have High Priestess and the Star card, both of them major arcana. So you have a major impact on those around you with your healing capacity. And like I said, it's literally the Star card, which is synonymous to the energy of healing, of providing hope with your wisdom, with your spirit. Like, yeah, so some of you with the High Priestess do have spiritual practices. You might be divining through cards, you might be a channeler, a medium, a psychic who gives insights to those around you. And I think I was mentioning, you do tell people that you care for what belief system is working for them, what kind of people they have around them, in case, like, do you, if you feel, and I feel like if you receive this in your dreams as to who is threatening to the people that you care for, in your dream state, in your meditative state, in your awareness, you will let them know. You will, warn them or ask them to take care of their energy field, and wherever possible you would even pray for them, is what I'm receiving. You do invoke higher energies, and wherever possible, wherever the higher self allows, you, with utmost kindness and compassion, with the divine feminine energy that did show up earlier, you do send positive prayer and healing, positive energy prayers and healing energy towards them. Like angelic energy is what I am receiving. So people do look up to you, to your wisdom, to what you have to share. And it's interesting we have Queen of Swords here because it's the exact place that it showed up for pile number two. So maybe some of you were drawn to pile number two, but only go and look at it if it was light for you, if it you were drawn to it. And in interpersonal connections, people definitely look up to you in some way, shape, or form as a mentor, and especially as a spiritual mentor, because of the kind of insights you provide. You may have given intuitive insights to people which played out later in their life. So they, respect, there's a lot of respect for you, is what I'm receiving, and especially for that. And some of that respect might also be people who fear that, how did you know this? How are you so intuitive? How are you so tapped in? But yeah, your intuitive insight is very helpful for those around you, and they look at it as, they cherish it as a big gift, and definitely look at you in a very divine, not just, but I mean, we did get divine feminine, but definitely they look at you as a goddess energy, in especially their subconscious. And definitely they look at you as someone who provides them a lot of hope after everything has fallen apart, after everything has gone to shit. Your energy, your insight, your spiritual knowledge gives them the willingness to know that there is better to come. And with the Seven of Pentacles and Queen of Swords as the collective energy, you're like the analogy that I was giving you, about roots getting the roots of a plant going bad, and you recognize what's, belief system is not working. Your cutthroat awareness about it, and not just awareness, but you sharing that awareness with people, is very inspiring. You're like, do you see this with this hand? That's what I'm receiving. This is not working for you. This is not going to create greater. It's actually clouding your vision, clouding your awareness. And that is why you were having delayed results. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. Like, that's the kind of awareness you give to people. So when people might be facing some sort of waiting energy, some sort of, you know I've put in these efforts, why it's not working out. You give them that clarity, that counseling energy is what I'm receiving, that awareness where the roots are not doing well, where the roots are rotting. And because of that, their vision is not clear, their awareness about the situation is not clear. So you let them recognize where they need to do a full reset, or at least like clear up their energy. And with the Four of Swords, this could be like clearing up their energy by resting more, by meditating, and recognizing what systems that they have put in place is not actually contributing to their growth. So this could be like casual conversations with people. I'm not getting so much of social media, but this could be social media also for a lot of you. Yet more than social media, I'm receiving that this is more evident in, your day-to-day dealings with people. You provide a lot of clarity quite naturally within conversations, and then they have a look, or people in the collective have a look at, okay, yeah, now I get it, now I recognize what is not working, what is working, what should I add, what should I remove, that kind of clarity. Now I'm going to pull one last card from your higher self as an encouraging message for you. Not taking that card, but it's interesting that that has showed up. It says, mirror who or what is triggering you. Like, that's what I said. Like, what's not working, do self reflection. That's the kind of energy you provide. Break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Wow, that's what I was saying. um and we have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. That's what you it's just I mean, like, your higher self is coming and reiterating the message that you provide clarity through the darkest of times, and that's through your own life, because you look at what is not working, what is a way of thinking within the family, within, your lineage, or with the people around you, that's not working, and you would do whatever it takes to change that and bring more clarity, even if it looks like, if it looks like this, if it is that dark, if it is that daunting, you somehow muster up the courage. Like I said, you're ruthless with that darker energies that don't create greater, and you will muster up the courage to see through this dark passage. The rite of passage is what I'm getting here again, and you will move into this more iridescent, colorful, life-giving energy. Your higher self is just proud of who you are, and they're reiterating. And don't underestimate how courageous you are. That's the main energy I'm getting. You are very, very courageous, and you may not even recognize how courageous you are. And it's not like regular people courage, to be honest, or courage that is very common. It's more than that. Your threshold is much more than that. A lot of resilience for this pile. So yeah, pile number 3, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.